Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from. This is JP. Welcome to John Paul Music UK, and this is Tuesday Tunes. So, a couple of things. First off, before we get going, this live stream is sponsored, and it's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. So these guys basically are a music distribution company. So you give your songs to them, and they push them out to all the online stores and musical streaming sites around the world. Which there are loads, and you can actually get paid for your music, including on things like social media and all kinds. So we have a link that's in the description box. It's also this QR code when I can find it. There it is. Oh, there it is. And I've now just covered my face, but never mind. And if you scan the QR code, it's also just gone into the chat. Then that'll give you 7% off your first annual membership with DistroKid. And thank you to DistroKid for sponsoring Tuesday Tunes live stream. How we doing? You guys okay? I hope you're well. Salud to Mexico. Oh, nice. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. All the way from Mexico. That's lovely. The doctor is in. Hello, John Paul. Hello. We're going to be playing some couple of tunes today, and I hope you can hear me well enough. We'll start off with this one. And then what we'll do is, on Tuesday Tunes, just if you've never been here before, what I do is I play a couple of songs, and you can see the looper on this side, and I'm going to be looping the songs, and then I'm going to break it down and show you how I created this track, or this version of this track, how I looped this song. This is a Paul Weller song. Hope you enjoy. On the beach, kicked around, displaced my feet with broken stones. They're just trying to get home. Losers reach, slow and short to hit the peaks. Yeah, I'm lost and alone. You're just trying to get home. Another bit shatters, and another gets lost. And tell me why it really matters. Oh, on such a cost. Losers reach, slow and short to hit the peaks. All lost and alone, broken stones. Shatters, and another gets lost. And tell me why it really matters. On such a cost. Losers reach, slow and short to hit the peaks. All lost and alone, broken stones. Losers on the beach, kicked around, displaced my feet like broken stones, just trying to get home. Like broken stones, we're just trying to get home. Cheers. So how are we? First of all, for the people watching, how's the sound? I hope it's okay. Hope it's not too loud. Let me know. In the chart, we are live streaming in five different places today. We're live streaming on YouTube, we're live streaming on Facebook, on Twitch, on LinkedIn, would you believe, and also on Twitter. At John Paul Music UK. You can find me on any of those platforms. And there we go. So it's Tuesday and we're playing tunes, hence the name Tuesday Tunes. So there we go. And what we do now is I break down how we actually did that song. So first of all, we've got the RC600. You can see it over there. Hopefully you can see that there. And we've got the TC Helicon Voice Live Play Acoustic. I have to say that really quick. The Voice Live Play Acoustic. And this gives me my harmonies. It also does things like bass. Marvelous, says Ricardo. Lovely, thank you. And we start off with a beat. We start off with I do all my beats by sort of beatboxing. I don't call myself a beatboxer, but I do a bit of beatboxing. And we start off with this. Now I'll always do that. Just gives a little bit of a hi-hatty sound. And we go boom, boom, and then add some hi-hats, actual hi-hats, and that's our beat for the whole song. You can see it's literally one bar. You can see the circle go around there. It's literally one bar. The longest bit is actually the chord. So this is G. Then D. This is like a sort of like a C. It's like C with G on the bottom, but basically. And you get that dun dun, which is part of the song. And we play that through, and then also add the bass on. Now, of course, if you're playing bass, you could obviously add that if you've got an octaver. I sing all my basses. That's why you saw me get this button here, and I've changed this button on the RC600 so it's actually the bass line. So I can turn that on and get that ready. It's only directed to the microphone, so it's not directed to the guitar. So if I do this, you can't hear a difference until I use my voice. You can't hear a difference there on the guitar, only my voice. So of course, if I was super clever, I could go dee 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 dee. And that's what gives us this one. And when we add in the drums, it's got that sort of semi-acoustic, nice sort of chilled feel about it. And that is the whole song, pretty much. But you notice that I would have actually turned that off at part of verse 1, because part of verse 1, the lyrics go, like pebbles on the beach, kicked around, displaced my feet, like broken stones. And then they go, and then they're trying to get home. Whoa. So that's A and D, but that's not part of the loop. So what we do is just turn it off for that bit. So let me show you an example. Kicked around, displaced my feet, like broken stones. Here we go. Trying to get home, like losers. And we go back in. Now you notice while I'm singing there, it sounds a little bit thin, and that's because I had the harmonies. This is from the TC Helicon Voice Live Play Acoustic. This is a high and a low, so I think it's like a fourth down or a third up. And then when we go for it, the billows on the beach, kicked around, displaced my feet like broken stones, trying to get home. And that's pretty much all of it until we get to Another Bit Shatters. We just turn track 2 off. So we've basically, that is on, where are we? Another Bit Shatters. C. Another bit shatters, and another gets lost. And tell me why it really E minor. Oh, and such a cost. Now, this is up to you. The actual chord is F. So it's actually F9, but I actually just play a C. No one really minds in a pub. Beggars on a beach. Now, once you do that and you go like Loser's Reach, too slow and short to hit the peaks, Lost and Alone, like Broken Stones, and you hear the and that's our third loop. Our third loop is here, and then it's just keeping the harmony switched on and just singing. So when we add these in. Now, when we get to the end of that, I just quickly switch off. Sorry, let me just turn that off. When you get to the end of that, I quickly switch off tracks 2 and 3. We're just left with track 1, and we go back to Another Bit Shatters, and another gets lost. Tell me why it really matters. Oh, and such a cost. And you can actually stop the loop completely there, just to have a little bit of a drop. And then we go back to Beggars on the beach, around displace my feet, like broken stones, you're just trying to get home. So I hope that makes sense to you. Now, let me just adjust one thing on here. There we go. So yes, so basically the way you do that is we just obviously play around with that. Apologies if this guitar is a little bit out of tune today. I've just put fresh strings on it because I bust some strings over the weekend playing a gig. It was really, really hot in that pub, and I'm playing the same pub next week, so I've restrung the guitars just because I want them fresh and make sure they're okay. So that is Broken Stones, Paul Weller. That's how we do, that's how I live loop it with the RT600 and the TC Helicon Voice Live Play acoustic. Right, so let's do our little bit here. And I've lost it, there it is. So this live stream is sponsored, and is sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. They are a music distribution company. So if you have got music out there, maybe you're recording music at the moment and you're thinking, how do I get it out onto like Apple Music and Spotify and all these other places? Basically, you can do it through these guys. Most music distributors charge you per release. They charge you basically like every time you bring out a single or an album or anything like that. These DistroKid don't do that. They charge you one price per year, which starts at $22.99. However, if I just get my little button right, there we go. You can actually save 7% from me with the link that's in the description box, which is that link I've just disappeared, but it's also in the chat as well. So if you give that a click or scan the QR code, which is over here somewhere, yeah, pointed to the right place. I normally point that way. And then that way you can get 7% off your first annual membership. And thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. So let's just, I've turned everything on now. That was really clever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn a little code. That QR code is now here. So that way I can turn this one off and you guys can still see everything, hopefully. There we go. So I hope you're okay. It's Tuesday. Doing a Tuesday tunes again. It's quite nice. I haven't done one in a little while. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at playing something that a friend of mine showed me, which I watched him play it, and I was just like, that's cool. That's a really funny, cool, different way of doing something for a live gig. So this is Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner, but we're going to add something in between the verses, which I found hilarious. It's just a bit of fun. So I'm a when I play guitar, I play chords. I'm not someone who plays solos. So if you just want to stick to the chords, but you want to add something in where the solos would normally be, this is a bit of fun. So let me set this up. Keep on turning, carry me home to see my kin. Sing a song about the Southland. This time I'll let me once again, yeah, think it's a sin. Heard Mr. Young sing about her. Well, I heard old Neil put it down. Well, I hope Neil Young will remember. The Southern man don't need him around anyhow. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped and upside down. I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, tell you how I became the prince of a town called Bel Air. They love the governor. Boo-hoo-hoo. We don't need them do. Watergate, does not bother me. Does your conscience bother you? Tell the truth. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. In West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground is where I spend most of my days. Chilling out, maxing and relaxing, all cool, and shooting some people outside of school. When a couple of guys who were up to no good started making trouble in my neighborhood. I got in one little fight and my mom got scared. She said, "You're moving with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air." Wishing for a cab, and when it came near, the license plate was fresh and the dice in the mirror. If anything, I thought this cab was rare, but I thought, now forget it, you're home to Bel Air. Muscle shows have got the swampers. They've been known to pick a song or two, yes they do. Lord, they get me off so much. They pick me up when I'm feeling blue. How about you? Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. I Pull up to the house about 7 or 8 in the lid to the cabby. You're home, smell you later. Look at my kingdom, I was finally there. Sit on my throne as the Prince of Bel-Air. Sweet home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Cheers. So that is Sweet Home Alabama, Leonard Skinner, with me almost forgetting words, but mixed in with the rap from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So if you, I'd say, don't play like solos or anything, and or you're playing guitar and you just want to play the chords, it's a dead simple 3-chord thing to do. So of course it's just D, C, and G. All the way through, that's it. I mean, you've obviously got the boo-hoo. You could obviously add that in if you want to. And you've basically got the loops are really, really simple. So let's break this down of how we do it. So again, just a little strum there. And then go boom, boom, ka. Now, I've said this before with the TC Helicon that I've got at the bottom here. You can just see my foot hovering. There we go. I have this harmony which is high and low, which basically will give me, if I go, oh, oh, give me a higher and a lower, and no matter what chord you're playing, that's great. However, if I go boom, 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 that's just my normal voice. But then if I actually turn this on, boom, boom, get a bit of a richer, deeper tone. So it's one of those things which just helps a little bit when you come into sort of doing a bit of beatboxing. I don't feel like I beatbox. I just make noises, just enough to get away with at a live gig. So you end up with, if you turn the harmonies on and do like a Boots and the Cats, you'll end up with something like this. And I'll always add a on the top, like hi-hats on the top. So nice and simply. Just add the bass line and going dun 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 with an octave down. Of course, you could play that, and that is the whole song looped all the way through. And all you're doing is interlacing the words. So, of course, you've got one or two, the two verses of Sweet Home Alabama, and then you just go, now this is a story all about how my life got flipped and upside down. And you can obviously add in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It always gets a laugh. I saw my friend Joe do it about 2 weeks ago, and then I did it on Saturday, and it's always just a bit of a laugh, and it's just one of those things where if you haven't got like a shredding guitar to go for, then it's just a great way of filling in where you would normally have the guitar solos, just adding in a little bit more. So that is Sweet Home Bel-Air, if you want to have a play around with that. So I hope we're doing okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening from. My name is JP. Welcome to Jump On Music UK. This is Tuesday Tunes, where we play some tunes, and you see it on this side over here. I play with the loop pedal, if you're not aware of that. And what I do is I'll play the song, and then what we do is we break it down and show you how I looped it, how I broke it down into its bits, so you can have a play. So we're going to have a look at a song that gets played a lot, and I do it slightly differently. So, of course I do. New strings on my guitar today. So how is everyone? I hope you're okay. Give us a shout in the chat. Where you're hailing from. I've already got Mexico. Now, if you want me to learn a song or show you how I would do a song, if you've got a very specific song and you're on YouTube and you're watching me on YouTube right now, what you can also do as well is you can request a song. So if you go, well, how would JP break it down? So you can actually request a song with a super chat. So if you request a song with a super chat, if I know it, I'll play it right now. But if not, I will learn it for the next Tuesday Tunes. And obviously by doing a super chat, then what you're doing, of course, is you're helping and supporting this channel and keeping me going with money. No, but it's helping me actually keep this channel going. So this is a very different way of doing a Guns N' Roses tune. So this is Sweet Child of Mine. So again, everything's on normal tuning at the moment, so I might switch over to red in a minute, which is my other guitar, which is in Dadgad. This is Capo 5D, and then C, and then G. Have you noticed it's exactly the same chords as the previous song? You could mash them together maybe, but it's a different kind of beat, so we'll have a play with this. So. Smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was as fresh, bright blue sky. Now and then when I see her face, it takes me away to that special place. If I stare too long, I'll probably break down and cry. Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine. Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine. Na, 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 na. She's got the eyes of the bluest skies. And if they thought of rain, I'd hate to look into those eyes and see an ounce of pain. Her hair reminds me of a warm, safe place where, as a child, I prayed for the thunder and the rain to quietly pass me by. Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine. Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine. Ba-da-da, 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 ba-ba. child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine. Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 sweet child of mine. Bum ba da bum bum ba da da bum ba da da bum ba da da ba da da ba da 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 bum ba da da bum ba da da bum ba da da bum ba da da ba da da ba da 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 da. So that's fun. I'm going to walk up really close to you now because I need to change something on a laptop. So, this one's a little bit more complicated, but only at the end, really. So, how we break this down is very simple. Again, a beat, little like that, with the boots and the cats, gives you this. Oh. Helps if we're not on the effects. Well, gives you this. There we go. Okay, so there's our beat for the whole thing. Now, you'll notice the next thing I actually did wasn't actually play any chords. It was bam, 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 ba-da. So, bam, 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 ba-da, bam, bam, ba-da, bam, 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 ba-da. We leave that a couple of times. And then the other bit I'm doing is ba, ba, bam, 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 bam. But it sounds really a little bit robotic. But when you get it all in there with the other bits that you've just done, it can sound pretty cool. A little bit of the drums there, but never mind. Then we recorded on track 2. D, C, G, C, G, D. And then obviously a little bit of a flurry at the end. And then just adding on the bass as well. So for those of you who are interested with the RC600, I've got a bass on here which is called Barry White. So and I've also got a bass on the RC600, which is this button, and I've changed it. I did a video on that. I've changed the undo redo to the bass button. So here's the Barry White one. And it's quite human-like. It's got a bit of a so it's got a bit of a human element to it. The other one's much more like muffled, much more bass. So this is the bass on. This is the G to B at 70%, just in case you were wondering, which is on this one. So it's much more different. So I've got two basses, and I use them depending on what kind of style of sound or song I'm doing. But then with that, if I want something, obviously at the really low frequencies, I'll use the RC600 one, which is the G to B. Again, 70%, I think it's on type 2. And then this Barry White one. Oh yeah, I can talk like this all day. Really useful. Now another song I do, which is Capo 2. And I've done this on the Tuesday Tunes as well. Again, if there are tunes you want me to have a play around with, put it in the comment and do a super chat. And then if obviously you're doing a super chat, you've helped me, so I'm going to help you. And if you go, what would JP do with this song? How would he loop it? Then you can obviously put that in the super chat on YouTube. And then, yeah, you're supporting me, but also at the same time, I can help you out and say, well, this is how I would loop it, if you want to figure that out. So this is a Justin Timberlake song, and this is Say Something. And I've got it in big capitals here, no capo, because when I play this at the end of the night, my voice is gone. But normally, it's on capo too, so if I play it now, it should be okay. Although, when I play it, by the time I played 2 hours. I've changed the way I'm playing, by the way. Just so you know, hello, Min DJ. How we doing? I've changed the way I'm playing. So in the UK, it's kind of like a given that you play like 2 45-minute sets. So what I'm now doing is I'm just playing for 2 hours straight. That way they get an extra half an hour. I can get more songs in because I'm looping all the time. And yes, I'm sweating at the end of it, but then if someone who's with me gets me a drink halfway through, I'm okay. I just find it much more interesting because when you're playing for a 45-minute set and you go, right, I'm just going to go for a 10-minute break, I don't need 10 minutes. And also, half the pub leaves. They go, oh, it's finished. Oh, we're going to go, we're going to move on. Whereas you play for 2 hours, people will come and go still, of course they will, but it's just a lot more entertaining. It means that basically the music doesn't stop, and you can get a lot more songs in, which is quite good. Anyway, I just wanted to give you that little tidbit. That's what I'm doing now, doing 2 hours straight. Taking it from the amazing duo band called The Distance. That's what they do. They play for 2 hours straight and then stop, and that's the end of their sets, or set, very long set. And if you want to have a look at the interview with The Distance, they're an amazing duo looping band, then have a look. We've got a whole series which is called How Do You Loop? And that is now also a YouTube podcast. Oh, yeah. It's available on podcast anyway, but it's also a YouTube podcast as well. So there's loads of people I've interviewed on there who are all loop artists, and also some, obviously, YouTubers as well, who are loop artists. And the goal is to get Katie Tunstall and, of course, Beardy Man and Mark Rebellier and Ed Sheeran. So if I can get those four, I'll be really happy. Anyway, moving swiftly on, Say Something by Justin Timberlake. Now, this has got loads of layers in the actual tune itself, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to add a couple of things in that is possible without boring the audience, because otherwise you take an hour, you take a couple of minutes to obviously set it all up. So, anyway. Everybody knows all about my direction. In my heart somewhere, I wanna go there, so I can go there. Everybody just says something that says something, says something that says something, says something that says something. I don't wanna be caught up in the rhythm of it, but I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. No, no. Caught up in the middle of it. No, I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. No, no, no. Caught up in the rhythm of it. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't have. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't have. Everybody knows all about my transgressions. Left my heart somewhere in melody and harmony with you and me tonight. Whoa, hear them call my name. Everybody just says something that says something, says something that says something, says something that says something. I don't wanna be caught up in the rhythm of it, but I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. No, no. Caught up in the middle of it. No, I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself. No, no, no. Caught up in the rhythm of it. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't help. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't help. Sometimes the greatest way to say something is to say nothing at all. Sometimes the greatest way to say something is to say nothing, yeah. And I can't help myself. I can't help myself, no, no. Caught up in the rhythm of it. No, I can't help myself. No, I can't help myself, no, no. Caught up in the middle of it. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't help. 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 Sometimes the greatest way to say something is to say nothing at all. Sometimes the greatest way to say something is to say nothing, yeah. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are from. My name is JP. Welcome to John Paul Music UK. This is Tuesday Tunes. What we do is we play a couple of songs, songs that I play in my set, when I play live, when I play covers. And what we then would do is once I've played the song, I break it down and show you how I do it on this thing, which is a looper. And I've got a 6-track looper. I don't use all 6 tracks a lot of the times, but I do use more than 3. And this is my little rig, so it's quite nifty. The RC600 is on the top, that's the looper. And there's an effects pedal underneath, which is called the TC Helicon Voice Live Play Acoustic. It's got a really long name, but it's actually very good because if I play a chord, it automatically knows what that chord is, and I can harmonize with it, which is great. It can harmonize with me. Sorry, apologies. So let's break this down. This is Say Something by Justin Timberlake. Again, we've just got a beat to start off with on track 1. So, simple as that. A little bit of Boots and Cats with a hi-hat. Now on the track, one thing I actually forgot to add on this, you can actually add, there's a really fundamental part of the song where every 4 bars, it's got a little bit of a talking drum sound. Boom, what, da, boom, what. Now, if I add on one bar, I can't do it on track 1, but it's good to add on track 3, and I'll show you that later. So, or in a minute. So then we've just got a little bit of muted guitar. So this is A minor, we're on capo 2, normal tuning, A minor. So A minor, you can see it going diddle dun, diddle dun. So I'm taking my 3rd and 4th finger off, like hammering down. And this is a strange D, but someone will figure it out. I can't remember what it is. Hi, men. Now, if you play it full like that, like proper, like strumming it, the problem is that when you get back to the verse should be quite quiet-ish. So it's quite good to mute it. So you'll hear that, and then obviously added a bass as well by singing the bass line. So you end up with this. A little bit of bleed from the drums there from my speaker, which is over there. Because if you had obviously that loop, it'd be like really like in your face the entire time. It's quite nice to be muted. And then the last one before I started singing is an effect that I've got on here. The bass was the Barry White effect on the TC Helicon. And then we go up to, and this is our really big hallway. Now, that's where I actually, I forgot to add the boom, what? And that's what I would have done. So, we've got all this rocking. So it just adds a little bit of a nice element to it every 4th. So the drums don't sound as repetitive because it is only 1 bar of drums. But this way means that basically you've got a little bit of everything. And you'll notice that when I stopped it all, when we got to everybody knows all about my direction, I hit all start stop, which is this one here, and then I instantly stopped this one. So everybody knows all about my... So track 1 and track 2 are playing, but track 3 isn't. Dun, 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 dun. I don't want to go there. Still, I don't go there. Everybody just say something, say something, say something, that says something. Then you bring in track 3. I don't want to be in the middle of it. So you kind of only bring in track 3 once you talk about I don't want to get caught in the rhythm of it. I can't help myself. No. Just adds another element to it. And then you may have seen, obviously I turned it off. And then you can either do one or two things. You can go dun, 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 turn it off. And then everybody knows, and then just reach over here, but you've got to do a bit of pedal dancing. So the other way of doing it is, where are we? Caught up in the rhythm of it. Looking for something I can't have. Maybe I'm looking for something I can't have. And it's quite good. You can just drop the drums for like half a beat, so it goes. And you got everybody knows there. Now I sang the first verse with. Oh, hello. Now, I sang the first verse without the harmonies, and then what we do is you bring the harmonies in on verse 2. If you watch the original, they all stop, and there's like this lovely harmony bit. Certainly if you watch the live one where they did it live, like in the moment, and everyone's in this massive grand hall. It's really cool for the video. So I thought I'd take that and sort of like as a in melody and harmony for you and me tonight. So, in melody and harmony, you and me tonight. Whoa, isn't call my name. It just gives that grandeur. Sorry, I'll turn all the effects off. It gives that grandeur, it's just a little bit nicer. And then the only other thing I do as well, you can see that there's a bit where he sings, sometimes the greatest way to say something is to say nothing at all. So, sometimes the greatest way to say something is to say nothing at, and then we've got a key change. And then you're back to your loop. So the way I do this is, when we're starting that part where we go back to A minor, I drop out the harmonies. So let's let it roll around for once. Drop them out. Sometimes the greatest way to say something. And then turn off track 2. Sometimes the greatest way to say something. And then obviously turn off the beat there. Let's just say nothing, yeah. And then just start track 2 on its own. With just obviously the muted guitar and do that. And then you don't have to worry about playing. You just go and then bring it in. The rhythm of it, maybe and I can't help. Bring track 3 in, big crescendo. And I can't help. Turn track 3 off. Sometimes the greatest way to say something is nothing. Track 2 off. Sometimes the greatest way to say something is to say nothing, yeah. End on A minor. Sorry, I played the wrong chord there on the bridge. It's that. There we go. So there we go. So that is Say Something, Justin Timberlake. Oh, thank you very much. Nice breakdown. Cool. I'm glad you like it. That's all good. I'm glad you like the music. Min Min, thank you. So this is Tuesday Tunes. This is where I play a couple of songs and then I break them down and show you how I loop them. You can take from this what you want. If you're a looping person or if you're just listening to the music, then thank you very much. And all of that I just said with harmonies on, so it sounds like 3 of me are talking. That was good, wasn't it? So this is Tuesday Tunes, and this live stream is actually sponsored. It's sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. They are a music distribution company, so you can't just put your music on Spotify or Apple Music or anything like that. You've got to use a music distributor. So DistroKid are a music distributor, and you give your songs to them. You keep all your royalties, all your rights, and all your royalties, and they will go and get the royalties for you, and they'll push it out to all the places like Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, Deezer, Tidal, loads of others that I can't think of right now. In fact, there's about 160, if I remember speaking to them correctly. And the other thing as well is you can put them on things like social media. So if you see people using Reels like Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, and they add music, they can add your music, and you can get paid. I've been adding my music to my Reels for past year now, which is great, which is really, really useful. And of course, if that goes viral, then you're going to get loads and loads of plays, aren't you? And it's only 15 seconds or 30 seconds, but it means you're still going to get paid. And the reason why I trust DistroKid a lot is because they are really, really simple and easy to upload, but also they charge you one price per year. So other music distributors charge you per release. So if you release a single, they charge you. If you release an EP, they charge you. A live album, they charge you. Your actual album, they all charge you again. So this way, what you can do is you pay one price, and that price is $22.99. Whoops, did that just disappear? It did. There you go. $22.99. However, with the link that's on the screen right now, scan that QR code. The link's also just gone in the chat as well. Then you get 7% off your first annual membership. Imagine being able to just release as much music as you want in a year. And I have so far. So I've released 2 singles. I've released something that was for Christmas, but I brought it out in January because, you know, COVID and all that. That was fun. It was meant to be coming out in December, but never mind. And then I also released another song as well, which was an acoustic version of one of my tracks, which we used for our wedding, for mine and my wife's wedding. So I actually replayed it as an acoustic track, and we walked down the aisle to that, which was nice. For our hand fasting ceremony, if anyone wants to know what hand fasting ceremony is, please ask me. And then also, I've released a live album. So I did a live stream just like this, and then I recorded it at the same time. I grabbed the audio from that live stream, and that is now an album. It's a full album. So you can actually do this. You can actually add things on like this. You can do it straight away. It's really, really easy to do. So if you scan that QR code, it's also in the chat, then obviously you can basically have an entire year's worth of release. You know, you could imagine if you're not ready to release, well, what you could do is scan the QR code, get yourself signed up and ready, and then once you've got your singles or your albums or whatever, it's not going to cost you any more just to release the music. You can add more options on, so you can do things like leave a legacy, so if it'll stay on there even if you're no longer here, which is an amazing thing, or pass it on to your kin. Which is an amazing thing, and there's loads of other things as well. The thing I really like about DistroKid as well is when you release something, they give you what's called a hyperfollow page. So everything you release has got a hyperfollow page. So imagine you love listening to stuff on Spotify, okay? But like your fan base is on Apple Music, Amazon, Tidal, they're all over the place. So we just give them the one link, which is the hyperfollow page, put that on social media, and then they choose how they listen to your music. It's dead easy, but you don't have to do a damn thing, which is just so nice. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream, and I just wanted to obviously showcase that because certainly with the hyperfollow, because it's really, really cool. If you want to have a look, so this was the live album that we did, and yes, that is not really me, that's an AI version of me, and these are the songs basically we did, the songs which, these are all just in the moment, even one called JP Can't Sing. Go and listen to it. So if you want to have a listen to it, it's called Looping My Brain, and you can find it. It's on every streaming site, every major streaming site anyway. It's also on social media as well, so if you want to use any of the tracks in your reels, you can do. And that was being able to do that through DistroKid. So I just wanted to show you. I just wanted to showcase that. Right, let's change the guitar over. How are we, by the way? Is everyone okay? It's very quiet in the chat today. Are you all just taking notes? And just so I hope you're all okay. So I'm going to change the guitar over. The reason I'm changing the guitar over, if you're not aware, this one, which is the green one, which is known as Lucky Lime, don't ask, someone called it Lucky Lime, is in normal tuning. And the red guitar, which is there, I'm going to pick it up now, is in Dadgad. Now, I've been asked this before, why'd you play in Dadgad? That's why. Ooh, deeper. It's just nice. It's a nice thing to play. So I discovered Dadgad a couple of years back, and it was one of those things where playing all different chords. It's just nice. It's very Celtic feeling, but also at the same time, I feel it's easier to play than normal tuning. It's really nice, and if you capo it, of course, it just sounds like normal. The reason why I've changed over to Dadgad is for our next song. Now, don't worry that it's in Dadgad. I'm going to tell you the chords anyway. So the chords for this song are D, G, A, and G. And then the second half of this song, it's not like a chorus, but it kind of is, it's like right at the end, is D, C, G, and D. So all you need to know is D, G, A, and C. If you can play them, you can play this song. This song is very special to me because this is the other song. There was 3 songs in total. My one, which is called All I Have Now, and I did an acoustic version of that for us to go to our hand fasting. The other one is Mr. Blue Sky, and we bounced out to that. But then the other one was this one, and this is a song by a band called Elbow. If you don't know who Elbow are, where have you been? Elbow are amazing. Go and find them. They're an amazing UK band, and I couldn't rate them highly enough. And this is their song called One Day Like This. This is my version. This is how I loop it. Enjoy.
Drinking in the morning sun, drinking in the morning sun, shaking off the heavy one, yeah, heavy like a loaded gun. What made me behave that way? Using words I'd never say. The only thing, it must be love. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. Someone tell me how I feel. Ain't wrong, but favorite right. Kiss me like a final meal. Kiss me like we died tonight. Holy cow, I love your eyes. Only now do I see the light. Lying with you half away. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. When my face is chamois creased, if you think I winked, I did. Left politely at repeat. Kiss me when my lips are thin. 'Cause Holy cow, I love your eyes. Only now do I see the light. I am with you halfway, wondering what it is to say. Well, anyway, it's looking like a beautiful day. Throw those curtains wide. On a day like this, you will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. On a day like this, you will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. On a day like this, you will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this, you will see me right. Holy cow, I'm your eyes. One day like this, I see the light. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this, you will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this, you will see me right. Holy cow, I love your eyes. One day like this, you will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this, you will see me right. Throw those curtains wide. One day like this, you will see me right.
Thank you very much. Piers is in the house. Hi, Piers. No worries, mate. So, this one is a bit of an epic one. And obviously takes a little bit of time to set up, but once it's set up, my goodness, it's such a good song to play. And we're going to break it down. So, we're going to break it down. Don't know why I did that. Silly boy. Moving on. Ooh, before we break it down, what's Piers saying? I'm curious. Well, I can't actually read that for me. I'm curious. Have you worked out? Oh, I'm curious. Have you worked out any songs for both the RC600 and guitar on the 505 as an a cappella arrangement? That is a very good question. Yes. There's a song I do anyway, which is an a cappella arrangement. I normally do it on the RC600, and that is Tom Petty, Free Falling. Anything that's a 4-chord song or a 3-chord song that's going to go all the way around, everything else, I do Tom Petty as an a cappella, and I've done it before just as an a cappella, and I did that anyway. Bravo, says Oleg. Thank you, Oleg. Yeah, so that's a very, very good song to do. And then, funnily enough, one of my own songs, which was actually written as a loop-pedaled song. So there's a song I do called Old Hill. Oops, sorry, that came up again. Oh, well, not sorry, it says bravo. So a song called Old Hill, I've done it both as acoustic, like literally a cappella, and I can transfer that over from the pedal to the RC505 because you've got the effects there straight away by your hands. You're not playing anything. As long as the microphone's in a mic stand as opposed to holding it, you can get to effects pretty quickly. So yes, so Tom Petty's really easy on that one. There's a couple of other ones as well, and it's just about filling the space that the guitar wouldn't, like, you know, you wouldn't hear that or something. So you could obviously, if I was doing this, how would you do that live? You know, with just a vocal. So But the problem is then if you want the chords, you're going to have to go around like 3 times. So you have to space it out maybe. If you're doing it just vocals, just a cappella. I'm actually going to an open mic night tonight, and I am doing just a cappella. I'm going to be doing something very similar to what we did when we did the live stream that turned into an album, where we did things like this. And I want to put this up because Pierce's name's on there. It's called Pierce's Dinner. What's for dinner? It was fish and chips and mushy peas, apparently. So I just want to put that up there. If you want to go and see that album is this one, which is called Looping My Brain, Live, Raw and Unrehearsed, Volume 1. And that was done through DistroKid, which is the people who are obviously sponsoring this live stream. And I forgot to put the little code up. There's the code. There it is. So scan that code and you get 7% off your first annual membership with DistroKid. Anyway, moving on. Yes. What was I doing? Oh yeah, breaking this down. So One Day Like This, Elbow. If you don't know who Elbow are, they're an amazing band. I've seen them live a couple of times. Amazing harmonies, amazing feelings. You've probably heard Elbow because they have been used in quite a few TV shows for like songs and TV shows, and they've just got such emotion. And anyway, I could go on about them all day. So this is my version of One Day Like This, humbly my version of One Day Like This. Now, in the actual song, when you listen to it on the CD, I say CD, terrible, isn't it? No one plays a CD anymore. When you listen to the track, there is a bass line that goes din, 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 din. And it's all the way through. And I didn't think it was at the beginning, so I never used to do it. But actually it's a boom, 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 boom. And it's all the way through the track. So it's just a D for this one. But I actually do it on the voice with the bass line. So let's go to the drums first. A little bit of strumming, a little bit of beatboxy, a little bit of hi-hat. Yeah. So boom, 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 something like that. So this is the bass line. Now the actual track is din 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 din. And I could add obviously the bass on there. I did at the beginning, but I took it off. No worries, Doctor. This will be available on the replay if you want to watch it a little bit later for anything that you may have missed. Piers came in just now, and the Doctor is leaving us. Oh, don't leave us, Doctor. And obviously you can watch the whole thing because it's going to be available on replay as well. So if you are watching on replay and you want to know a song, how would JP break this song down? Put it in a super chat or put it in a comments or a super thanks when it goes on available, and then you're helping support the channel, but also I'll help you break down a song into looping. Don't put things like Thunderstruck because that's just not going to happen. So that's the bass, and it literally is going all the way through. And then the longest part is actually the chords for the first part of this. The chorus is just a G, but then I turn it on and off. So, sorry, just a D, apologies. So, but then I turn it off. So this is D, and then G. Then we go to A. And then back to G. Now, on the actual track, there is a lovely, like, sort of I don't think it's a quartet. Or there's definitely strings there. And they're doing. Now, it's your choice at this point. You can either add it now, before you start singing, which is what I do because I put it on and people in the UK go, I know what this track is. And then you take it away and start singing the verse. And then when you bring it back, people are like, oh yeah, it adds in with the lyrics, which is quite nice. Or you can not put it on there, start singing the chords, and people go, I'm sure I know what this track is. And then you'd have to then stop and break away when you do the second one. Someone Tell Me How I Feel. You'd have to put it in there and then sing the verse. Now that could add a little bit more dynamics to it, but it's up to you. So that's... We use our long haul voice for this, which is this one. Oh. And there we go back to the beginning. Now, when I first tried to loop this, I tried to just loop the and it sounds fine. When you get to here, and it works, it does actually work, but it gets too repetitive too quickly. And the actual strings, they actually have this like lovely melody, so it's nice to actually have them in. And it does take a bit longer, but I think people appreciate it at the end. So, our first 3 tracks while we're playing is it's really weird with that D. It does work. And that's actually drinking in the morning sun. Now, when you get to the part that's kind of a little bit like the chorus line, looking like a beautiful day. It's actually D like twice, and the second time it's 4 times round. So how do you do that with a looper? Very simply, the first chord we play is D. So what I do is I turn it on and I turn it off. Oh yeah, I forgot they were on there. But let me just show you this. So just turn them on and off. Track 1, 2, and 3, if you just turn them on and off, you get this boom, 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 and that's great. And then obviously when we go for it the second time round, we add back in our and then you notice that obviously I recorded a 5th track, but this is where this changes dramatically. So most people would go, oh, I need to do like a verse and a chorus and change the looper. So it does this verse and the chorus, and you can do that, I suppose. But I use 3 different patches throughout my set list, and I don't really have set the memories for different songs. But when we've got through to the looking like a beautiful day, there's the second part, which is so throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year, it'll see me right. This year it'll see me right. So it's just that phrase over and over again, but then you re-sing, holy cow, I love your eyes, and only now I see the light. Holy cow, I love your eyes, and now I only see the light. So this is where the chords change. We've got a looper. It's going round, going D, G, A, G. We're now going to do D, C, G, D. So the way to get around this is go when we've done the start and stop. I'm looking like a beautiful day. So throw those curtains wide. One day like this a year won't see me right. We turn it all off. And then we go straight for it. And it is a bit of pedal dancing, but we go straight for the beat. So throw those curtains wide. Turn the harmonies on. Day like this a year will see me right. Go to page 2, bow 2. Throw those curtains wide. Don't panic. Give yourself loads of time. And this a year will see me right. Start recording. Now, I'm not going to do it because if I play this for you now, it's going to blow your speakers off. But let me just turn this down. Those curtains wide. Let's turn it down, by the way. One day like this a year will see me right. It's awesome. It's just an awesome part with that beat. And while that's going, you can go, well, holy cow, I love your eyes. Only now do I see the light. turn to Throw Those Curtains Wide. And then you can actually end it with that. Obviously, take the beat off. You just got that. You go, throw those curtains wide. Then turn everything off and go, one.
Day like this a year will see me right.
And then on the D. It's such an epic tune. And it's so good to play. So that is One Day Like This, Elbow in Dadgad. But if you've normal tuning, you can do it and no problem. You just do the chords I told you. Are they the right chords? Can't remember. Right. Piers is talking. Let's go back to the chat. What are you saying? What are you saying, boy? What are you saying, boy? I find a 1/5 or 1/4 drone works as a backing for a lot of stuff that I sing. Would you like the 4-chord song? So there's a 4-chord song. If you go onto YouTube, don't leave my live stream. No, I'm joking. If you go onto YouTube and look for a band called The Axis of Awesome, AXIS. They do a song which is a comedy song, and it's the 4-chord. It's just called the 4-chord song, and they dress up and all the different characters that they're talking about, and it's. So C, G, A minor, F, basically doing that. C, G, A minor, F, and you can basically get loads of different songs in that. So just double time them. Just a small town man, born and raised in South Detroit. Kentucky midnight train going anywhere. Forever young, I wanna be forever young. I can't hesitate no more, no more. I cannot break. I'm your heart's lipstick stains on the corner of a subway train. Know that I can't forget you, and I wish that I can do whatever and can you feel the love tonight? Somebody's gonna steal us together under nowhere but no. You will be loved, you will be loved. It goes on and on and on. There's loads, and I used to be able to play Axis of Awesome as it was, bang on, lyric for lyric, and it was in my head, and it kind of is still. But there's loads like that you can do. A friend of mine who's also a YouTuber, go and find him, Seth, S-E-P-H, Seth Bentos. First of all, did an amazing track of What If Creep was a Christmas tune, and it's really cool. But he does a 4-chord one like that, very similar, but with loads of other songs on. So it literally is that structure all the way through. If you then go keep that same structure, but start on the A minor, then you can do save tonight and fight the break of dawn. Come tomorrow, tomorrow I'll be gone. We've got to face what would it look like if God was one of us. I am the passenger. Just goes on and on and on. So, you know, as lawyers are about to walk into courthouses to talk about Ed Sheeran, robbing Marvin Gaye songs, there's one of these things where in Western music there's only 12 notes, and you know, you be the judge. That's why there are mashups, because it's not hard to then replicate all of this. So there we go. I don't sing songs with middle eights. Doctor left. Min says good. So many choices to make about how you break this song down and build an audience interest. Oh, elbow song. Yeah, it's one of those things where the that is really pinnacle to the song. So it's where do you fit that in? I think that's quite interesting. I try and put it in at the beginning. Yes, I'm breaking rules where I should be singing and not spending 3 minutes making a loop, but for the end of it, it becomes epic. So I think it's worth that breaking that rule, as it were. Right, what I need to see what you said here. Can you lay the verse loop down as you're singing the verse, or does that leave the string hook a bit unmoored when you put it down? Oh, I see what you mean. So the way I've got my looper set up is that the vocal and the guitar, obviously if I hit record, it's going to record both because I beatbox into it. I obviously sing, so you could go do that, but the problem is that you need it on a separate loop. So I could go, where are we? But then it's going to be there the entire time. It's going to be there all the time. That's the problem. So I want to take it away and bring it back again. So you could do it. You could do that, obviously, then. But it would be there the whole time. It would become probably a bit too monotonous. I'd like to take it away and bring it back. That's why I put it on separately. So many 4-chord songs, which is the main point of that course, of course. Absolutely. 3-chord ones. Oh, yeah, we'll Piers, what you missed at the beginning was I just did 2 different songs, completely different, and they're actually the same chords. So I did Sweet Child of Mine, Guns N' Roses, D, C, and G, and then obviously slightly different in the chorus. But then if you do Sweet Home Alabama, Sweet C, D, C, and G, but then just the different capo. So it totally depends. Talking about obviously 3 chords, that's the other one, is going back to Tom Petty. So Tom Petty's 3 chords all the way through. I'm going into the same loop. That makes sense. Oh, okay. All going into the same loop. Yep. It's about being dynamic. That's the thing. It's about the dynamic thing of I'm bored of this now as an audience, not you. You'll go twiddling in and go, yeah, I love what I'm doing. I do that, but then it's like the audience are like, oh, come on, mate, hurry up and sing, will you? So there is that part of it, but then you're building up the pieces, and that's why on that song specifically, I will break the rule of adding everything in first, as it were, before you start singing, because I think it's worth adding that in, so people go, it is something, because it is something different. It is a tune you're going, na 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 na, and people go, okay, and then you go around. By the time you go around, like you sing "Drinking in the Morning Sun," and then you take it away. It's just you singing with the chords and the beat, and then when you bring that back, it's just another element again that comes back. So it's a nice thing, I think, in that respect. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. What I'm going to do is, I wasn't going to do this one, but I put new strings on this guitar, and you can totally tell because they're bouncing around everywhere. What strings do I use? I'm glad you asked. I use the D'Addario XS strings. They've got the coating on. I snapped a string at a gig on Saturday. It was a really, really hot pub, and I'm playing in that pub on this Saturday. I'm playing 2 Saturdays in a row in that pub. So I'll be in shorts. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, I've just restrung this. I might have to restring Red as well, because they put those strings on at the same time, so I'm worried Red is going to just go. To be fair, the XS strings, I put it on December. I think it was December or January of not last year, the year before. Literally, they've lasted a year, like 16 months, 15 months, and I ragged this thing. I'm like, proper at the end, so the XS strings, I swear by them. The Dario, thank you. You've done an amazing job on these strings. They have lasted. They've been in hot, sweaty pubs, playing live here, playing on stage on a big stage. They've lasted completely, and they don't bounce out of tune. Once you've got them all like tuned up and everything, they're fab. So I really like them a lot. Oh my, absolutely not. No wonder they've got no money. No way. The Dario XS strings, they'd have them for acoustic and electric. They have a coating on them, and there's the other ones, I can't remember what they're called, and like there's a couple of strings there where they do coatings on them. And do you know what? It sounds really bright, stays really bright, and as I say, only because it was in that hot pub did it go ba-doing. It was only one of them, and it was the B string. Yeah, that just went ba-doing. And then luckily, it was 3 songs from the end, so it just switched over. So, what was that? There's some video breaking down how Ed Sheeran loops guitar and other stuff and keys and only one voice. Fascinating. Watch how he does it. Cool. Yeah, I did a short video about Eyes Closed, using the 505 and using the iPad, using all the sounds, pretty much all the sounds from GarageBand. So you don't need to buy like these amazing synths or anything. You just use the sound in GarageBand. So I did a quick 2-minute, 3-minute video of all the different sounds you can get, like, and I just added it into the 505. And then boom, 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 boom. And that's Eyes Closed. Anyway. That's it. If you're gigging you're gigging like 3-4 times a week, then yes, you know you're absolutely tearing those strings apart. So I get it. I understand. I mean, once a week, you know, fine, because you're getting the money to. If you don't have good strings and they snap halfway through a gig, there's that fear, I suppose. That's why I now carry 2 guitars, because I split the playing between normal and dadgad, and I do that deliberately because it gives me a break. It sounds different, and it lengthens the life of the strings. So you may notice I'm playing some chords. So this is capo 3. This is A. This is D, G, and then step it down to A. That's A, but I don't put my pinky on the note. Is that A sus? I don't know. So you can do this. Obviously, I'm going to do this in 2 different ways. So I'm going to actually do this as I would normally do with the guitar. And for Pierce's benefit, and for anyone else who's listening, I'm going to show you it a cappella as well.
She's a good girl. She loves her mama, loves Jesus, and America too. She's a good girl. She's crazy about Elvis, loves horses, and a boyfriend too now, yeah, yeah. There's a freeway running through the yard, and I'm a bad boy, so don't even miss her. I'm a bad boy, breaking the heart, and I'm free, free falling, I'm free, free falling. I'm free, free falling. Now all the vampires running through the valley, they move west down Venture Boulevard. And all the bad boys standing in the shadows, all the good girls with broken hearts. And I'm free, free falling. 'Cause I'm free, I'm free falling. I wanna glide down, I wanna write her name in the sky. I wanna free fall down into nothing. I wanna leave this world for a while. 'Cause I'm free, I'm free falling, free falling. 'Cause I'm free, I'm free falling. 'Cause I'm free, free falling. 'Cause I'm free, free falling.
So there you go. Now that version is where you end on all the vocals and you don't put like a big crescendo at the end and it just leaves people going, oh, and I'm free. You want another verse or another chorus. Applause. Thank you. Yes, music. I could. Cool. Thank you very much. Yes, so that is free falling. So capo third and normal tuning. We're going D, G, and then we step it down to A, sus something. And that is it. If you're doing this completely a cappella, peers, you may have noticed this, actually, apart from getting the note, when I went like that, the actual first three loops are a cappella. So we start off, I know I did that, but I erased it, didn't I? So, so let me build it back up again. So. Now you don't have to obviously do that. I do this as a double, like a 2-bar loop, just to give a little bit of dynamics to the drums. Put our harmonies on for a little bit of oomph. Okay.
Yes, I know you love this Barry White voice.
Now, the next part is just this lovely hall.
She's a good girl.
So you can see there, apart from doing that, which you don't have to do, you can start with. Everything's acoustic, everything's vocal, a cappella. So how you would get around that? What you'd be missing is you'd be missing, obviously, the harmonies, because the harmonies are dictated by the guitars. So you could sing it and everything else, but then what you would do is I would be going on to the fourth track like I did. And I'm free, free falling. So you do a low version. And then when you get to the second chorus, and I'm free, you can obviously go nuts at that point. And then that way you've got a full ensemble. And then when you've got this going,
she's a good girl. She loves her mama.
so the bass and the drums will hold, no problem. And then obviously you can bring that back in the harmonies. And then if you want to add a bit more to it, you could obviously do a bit more heavier beatboxing. I don't know, like add that in. But you notice I added in sort of
free falling, 'cause I'm free falling, yes I'm free fall.
and it's just add these little bits in. It's just like adding ingredients into a pie, let's put it that way. And then by the end of it, it's just a big crescendo. So that is Free Falling by Tom Petty. And we're just going to do one more time, not the song, we're going to do this. This live stream is sponsored by our friends over at DistroKid. They are a music distribution company. So if you've got songs of your own, or you can do covers, and they will do covers as well, by the way, then you can obviously get them released, and you can get them onto things like Apple Music and Spotify and Deezer and Pandora and Apple Music. I said that twice. Amazon Music. There's loads. There's absolutely loads, including things like social media sites. And there's absolutely loads. You can do loads, no problem at all. So if you do that, then with DistroKid, they charge you one price per year, which starts at $22.99. But with the code, the link that's in the description box, then you'll get 7% off your first annual membership with them. So give this code a scan, or look at the link that's in the description box or there, and then that helps me out, helps the channel out, because they're sponsoring this live stream, but also it's going to just help you out. If you want to release music in 2023, you've got an entire year now. You can actually do this now, and then you could still release music in April of 24, and you've got basically absolutely loads of time. I've released a live stream which had Pierce's name on it, which is quite fun. There's loads of obviously different ways you can release music now, but this is the easiest way, I believe, by using DistroKid. They have things like a hyperfollow page. You can get all your money from there. You can, if you're a band and you've got basically 5 members, you can split the money 5 ways. They have a mastering service now, which is called Mixia. That is an additional charge. But let's just say you're a solo artist like me. I'm solo artist John Paul, but I'm also part of a duo. They have another option which is called Musicians Plus, which I think is around about $40 for the year, something like that. It's just like, it's not much at all if you think about it. How much are guitar strings? How much, how much is a guitar? How much is a microphone? $22 or 7% off $22.99. It's not a lot of money to actually release your music. And also, the big thing I've been finding at the moment is people using my music in Reels, which is really cool. So the live album stuff is available on Reels. I've been using it as well. It's a fantastic way to just get your music out there. You can have your music being played on like an Instagram Reel, which is bizarre, or even TikTok. So thank you very much to DistroKid for sponsoring this live stream. Click the link, which is in the description box, or scan the QERE code. QERE Cody. There we go. So I am actually going to end this live stream here. I just want to thank you for watching, if you've been watching live. If you haven't been watching live and you're watching on the replay, then I can actually help you. We actually have a full course which is called an RC600 course. If you want to have a look at the actual RC600, I have a full-blown course where you can learn everything about it right from the very beginning all the way right to some really advanced stuff. And my setups that I use in my live gigs, you get them. So you actually get a copy of my setups in that course. Now that course is $197. If you put the word subscriber you'll get 5% off. You can also do it monthly, so you can actually do it monthly. So I realise, obviously, for some people, obviously, 197 is a lot of money. So, and it is. I'm not saying for some people it is a lot of money, but what I want to say is, obviously, that to make it more affordable, you can actually do it on a monthly. So 4 months of $50 each, and you can still put the subscriber code in as well to get 5% off your first month. And I just want to say thank you very much. If you've been watching on YouTube and Facebook, the links will be in the description box for things like DistroKid and my course. If you're watching on things like Twitch, LinkedIn, and Twitter, hi, where have you been? And we're going to be doing this again next week for Tuesday Tunes. So thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. Bye.